Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGen Ed. So my name is Andy, and I'm just going to be going over some charts for the week of October 22nd, or I guess starting October 23rd, tomorrow, Monday. Just trying to get ready for the week, sharing some of my ideas, some of the charts that I think look interesting. And if you have any requests for me, you can drop them in the live chat. I'd be happy to go over them. And I will be doing all of the tickers that I listed in the description. I'll probably be doing 2 to 4 minute videos on those over the course of the week, just sharing my perspective. But I thought it'd be nice to do this live, so we can kind of have some back and forth. If you want to hang out, grab a beverage, and yeah. Hopefully this is a nice way for us to get ready for the week ahead. All right, and so with that, I'm just going to share. Let's see. That's the wrong display. And actually, that's kind of, It's weird. Sometimes I had the channel's page up, and yeah, one second. I had the channel's page up on YouTube, and then I changed it, and yeah, actually, okay, yes, this is good. It was like frozen on it. Sometimes OBS does that. Anyways, so yeah, here in the I've got the charts, Weeble, behind me. I've got some lines drawn on it from some of my thoughts that I've had, but I'll probably erase those and go over them. And so this first one is AAL, which is American Airlines, which had earnings last week. Kind of interesting, actually pretty interesting chart, I think. But I'm going to come back to that. I just made a video on Bitcoin, so I thought it might be appropriate to talk about that. I'm going to delete this little box. Yeah, so basically I had seen this in that video. If you're interested, you can check it out. I had seen this post on Twitter from, I believe, Bitcoin Max Payne, and they show it was a poll that was, are you more bullish or bearish for November? And the majority of people who took that poll were bullish. However, I took the poll and I'm not bullish. I think that we may actually be at or near the top before heading down to 20,000 over the next couple months. And so that's, based on, basically this chart behind me showing what I think is the beginning of the formation of a right shoulder where, let's see, you have the left one over here, the left shoulder. Actually, yeah, you can see the crosshairs a little better. So yeah, you have the left shoulder over here, head that goes slightly about $1,000 higher than that prior peak, and then we're a little bit lower than the previous shoulder. And so, yeah, I'm very curious to see if we do get a break up to around 30.5 thousand. But then I see that we would then be coming down over the course of November, maybe into December, coming down to 25K, and then maybe into the new year, heading down to 20,000. And the reason why I think that is because this is something I've learned from Gareth Soloway. I don't know if you're familiar with him or his channel. He predicted the top of Bitcoin and called for 20K or lower. He was right on that. It's pretty crazy. Everybody hated him then for it. So I've got a lot of respect for him. And one thing I've learned from him is measured moves. So with this, you have the neckline where this yellow line is, and up to the top or approximate top, that is, the distance that you want to look at, and the expected fall or bottom that you would get after this formation of the head and shoulders would be that same distance. So, yeah, with the chart like this, I'm just going to get this little like rectangle, measurement tool. And so if I take that and I measure it up to, the approximate top, it's around $6,000. And then if I drop that down about $6,000. That takes me to, 19,000, or, let's say 20,000 or lower. And so that's, what I see happening over the course of, actually here, I could actually use this measurement thing for something maybe more useful. So like, let's say this shoulder is formed over the course of this time frame. So that's where you have that bottom. And then, so basically, if this shoulder were to be symmetric, you would see around December 25th coming down to 25K. That would be a pretty special Christmas, 25K Bitcoin, or perhaps not so special. And so, so that's what I'm thinking as far as Bitcoin goes. And also I think, it's nice. This is on the daily candles. If we look at this on the weekly, we can also see that same, head and shoulders pattern there. But if we take a step back and we look at the prior high, 69,000, that you could think of as a head and shoulders pattern, where you have the left shoulder here prior to that peak, and then you get this wick or tail of the candle whipping down to that level before the right shoulder is formed. And so if we do, the same kind of, measurement of that from there to the top, it's around 22,000. From that neckline going down, 22,000, that is, around 19,000, 20,000. So that seems like it's a pretty significant level, and we did, not directly, we did return to that level. And so, I think it's possible we could be returning to it again. It does seem like 27,000. There's a lot of movement over here, and this tail of the candle came down to that line. We did break through it pretty quickly over here. So, it seems like we could be going back to that level, maybe the beginning of the year. And so for me personally, I'm waiting for 20,000 or, the start of 2024 to really start accumulating in expectation that, and, the next couple of years or so, we get back up to all-time highs and possibly break them. So, I don't see that anybody's tuning into the stream, but that's fine. This is good for me just to, be thinking about this stuff and enjoy, Sunday before market opens tomorrow. Although it's always open for crypto. So maybe this is a bad one to start with. And so anyway, since I don't have anybody in the live chat requesting tickers, I'm just going to start going through the list alphabetically, starting with American Airlines. And so this was pointed out to me as being coming near. I've got these technical signals on it. Let's see. Yeah, I'll leave them on. I just won't zoom in too much. Or actually, is that bad? Let's see. How do I? Indicators. Yeah, so those won't get in our way. All right, so looking at this, it was pointed out to me, again by Gareth Soloway, that, this has just been beaten down from 19,000, but it looked like it was coming to support. So if we look at the weekly candles, there was a support. He actually, let's see, he drew the line to this point in 2011, but it actually goes back, unless I screwed up drawing it, goes back to 2008, financial crisis. And so that level has been support, through 2011, and as well as with the pandemic lows. So it seems like a pretty significant level, although we are currently trading below it. But what I find compelling, perhaps, I'm just trying to convince myself that it hasn't broken through yet. If we look at it on the monthly, and the month of October is not over yet, we are below the line, but the candle could close above this trend line, which has happened before. So, this seems like it's potentially, a compelling position to be in, given how beaten down it is, although it could be, getting ready to drop off a cliff and head back to, $1.40 over here. Is that going to happen? I have no idea. Really can't say. But, I think that this seems like a pretty interesting chart, especially, seeing how the month of October ends. If we are above that line, it could be a very interesting time to establish a position and maybe ride that back up to 19,000 or, just take a moderate profit along the way. Let's see. I don't want these signals. All right, yeah, so if I look at it on the weekly, yeah, we're below there. Daily, this daily candle looks like, there are just sellers up here. People, the most recent one, yeah. So I don't know. It's, this gap was filled. There is this gap up here being filled up to, right around 1375 to 14. It's possible there's another gap. No, that was filled, it looks like. So this does seem like an interesting position to get into, but who knows? What do I? None of this, I should mention, none of this is financial advice. I have no idea what I'm doing. That's why it's called DGen Ed, because I'm clueless. I'm just trying to, have some fun, get prepared for the week, and maybe share some interesting ideas with you all. And one thing that I might do while we're here, while nobody's asking for anything, I've done like parallel stuff. I've never done like the trend channel. So let's see if I don't know if this is like I have to do it in the middle. Yeah, I have to do it in the middle. Yeah, so there's this nice channel that looks like, I've not used this tool before. I wish I could, adjust the width of it, but maybe that's the point of it, that it's just, this nice channel looks like maybe we broke out there. But yeah, we're just being beaten down in this channel, which maybe, so it would be really awesome if we broke out of that, but has not happened yet. Just with this, one candle here that did close above it. But other than that, pretty much all of the closes have been within that downtrend. So, hopefully there's some upward movement, but maybe not. As far as, if we look at down here, if we look at the RSI, I'm actually going to draw a, wonder if, that's crazy. Look at that. From that peak to there. If we start to break out of this, which we have not, that could be, the sign that American Airlines is ready to move. We look at it on the weekly and then monthly. But see, RSI on the weekly is below 30, so it is oversold. It does appear to be, but it might stay oversold for a little while before it starts to make some upward moves. It might also tank. Who knows? But that's American Airlines for you. Also, I thought I'd go over, let's see, AMC, which I feel like this is, let's see. This wedge that I have drawn here, I actually saw somebody on Twitter draw that, and I kind of extended it back to this peak here, and that has served as support. Looking at it now, this is on the weekly. If we look at it on the daily, let's look at that on the daily. Okay, so that is the pattern there, and it looks like we've been holding this trend line, which may or may not be significant. But in looking at this, just considering how manipulated all stocks are, but especially this one, I've been trying to think about what levels might this return to before heading higher, so then I could really load a lot more. So looking at this, it hasn't broken this trend line. I wonder if it might return to that, and that could put it at around, let's see, $8 is what I was thinking, $8 a share. That would be, kind of a surprise to see it go that low, because I feel like it has been pretty strong here, in holding right around 9 up until it was an 11, I think, a couple days. High of 11.17. And so, I think we're really just trying to establish, a base here. And something that I do find interesting about this is right around here. This is right around $12 to $12.69. Is that actually $12.69? The low, $12.64. There's this gap here, so it does seem like that would be a level that we would return to fill that gap and maybe reside there for a little while to kind of really strengthen that as the bottom before filling this next gap, going between, let's see, 1660 to 1940. So a couple gap fills to the upside, as there's another one up here. So I could see us possibly going up to fill that gap. And maybe, when that gap's filled, or around the time that gap is filled, there might be a halt to stop, any squeeze, any upward movement, because we know that's what happens with this stock. And then in that time, maybe this peak of, right around $11 would then serve as the next level of support. So maybe we go up to, let's see, what is the bottom of that? That's $12.64, maybe $13, fill that gap, and then hang out between 11 and 13 for a while before then filling this next gap between 1660 and 1940. So those are just some thoughts. I do also think that, there's a possibility that, considering this, big wedge pattern that we're seeing, it could go lower if this level of support is broken. And so that could create a new low for the stock. So that would suck. But, that would be a great buying opportunity, a great way to accumulate. Again, not financial advice, degen ed, no idea what I'm talking about. But, I think that basically looking at this chart, I think it's very, very undervalued right now, especially with, the Taylor Swift stuff, possibly Dane Cook and, Beyonce, lots of other opportunities. Basically, things were being controlled by studios, and Taylor Swift kind of broke that, going direct through AMC distribution. And, rather than Dane Cook doing his special, streaming, Netflix, something like that, he wants to do it on the big screen. And, so I think that, there's a lot of stuff changing, rather than going to, direct to streaming or, Netflix producing stuff. It's possible, AMC could get a more direct line to videos coming out, movies coming out. So, or, entertainment, whether that's comedy specials, music shows. So lots of stuff going on here. And so it's, a really exciting time. And I think that there's a lot of upward potential for this one. But, I'm going to continue on to the next stock on the list, which is Biora Therapeutics. And so if I go on the daily, so this is one that, I've been following. And, I had been thinking, I actually have a position in it that, I'm in the red, but I don't have as much confidence, in my position. So I've been looking to cash out and, move the funds elsewhere. But I don't want to do it, when it's at the bottom. But I also don't want to do it when I'm in the red. And so what I've been paying attention to is, these are the daily candles. Over the past week, there's been this, 1, 2, 3, 4 green candles going up to around 265. So it closed at 262. I had noticed this candle that was here, which has a high of 268. There's this other candle here, which has a high of 269. And, these lows over here, let's see, the lows, 261, 262. So right in this area that we're currently at, 262 is the close. That seems like there's some, resistance there. And I also noted this trend line coming from the, lows at the beginning of the year, beginning of 2023, touching here, coming down here as well, but then breaking through that trend line. And now we're just about to test that. And so breaking through it would be right around 280. And so I'm curious, is this going to have some strength moving into the week? Really with opening hours tomorrow, pre-market, and see what happens with it on Monday. Is it going to break through these lines of resistance, or is this a local top before returning down into this downward channel? I definitely hope it continues upward, but I'm also trying to protect myself to make sure that if this is a local top and if it does go down, then I could get rid of some shares, lower that risk, and then maybe reestablish a position lower, or just wait it out, but having less money locked up in it. So this is a pretty interesting chart to me. The RSI, this is again on the daily, is at 64.61. So not 70, not completely oversold, but this could be a top for that. However, let's see what's happened before when this was. So this is all in the same week. This was a Friday, and then it continued on. So I'm curious to see if it's going to continue on upward. The next level of resistance might be around $3.33, where this top is here. Let's see. But I found this stock to be interesting, and I like to do a video on it, but it's tough, with the live stream to do these individual videos, but people don't really tune into the live stream, so it might be, I want to keep doing this to try to just go over my ideas and hopefully have some ticker suggestions in the live chat at some point. But this is one of the tickers I want to do a video on this week. Moving on to the next one. This is BIOR, which is I think 2x leveraged natural gas, and this is crazy zoomed out. I've got all these lines here, and so basically I made a video last week, I believe on either Saturday or Sunday. I think it was Saturday. I made a video on BIOR saying that I had a position that was I was at break even basically at this yellow line. And I, wanted it to go higher. I wanted to cash out, at 78 or something, like these other peaks. But it seemed like there was some weakness. And so I unloaded my shares, broke even. So I was happy about that. But I was thinking, I see this trend line here that it might bounce on that and then continue back up. However, I was looking at the max pain, and I noticed that for last week, the max pain was 60, and the following week was, I believe, 65 or maybe 66, I'm not sure. But so I was basically thinking that it would come down to this line, which is 65, and then come down to this line, which is around 60, before heading back up. It has actually gapped lower. It's like a spinning top doji, or I'm not sure if it's a potentially, depends on what the next candle looks like. I think that might be a morning star. So this doji that's right here, that could be a sign of a reversal coming. So we'll have to see what happens next week. But one thing that I found really interesting too about last week, so this is Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and this is Monday of last week. It gapped down from the prior week, and that has not been filled. And that's right around $66 or so. So I feel like the price that it's at right now, it could come down to this yellow line, could come down a lot lower. But with there being a gap up there, an average at 66 or lower, it seems like, there's a potential nice opportunity to swing this, make 10+% before looking to the next position or seeing what happens after that. And so, yeah, I don't really have much to say on this. But yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting and, could be a nice swing trade. But, it might be a few days. It might be, let's see, zooming in here. It might be a few weeks before it turns around and goes back up. I think, I could check the max pain right now. Close my browser window. Okay, yeah, so max pains, not for Chewy, but for Boyle. Whoop, I did that backwards. I don't know how that happens. Sometimes it does that. I'm not sure what happened with it. So, for this coming week, what is the max pain? The max pain is 60, currently below that. Let's see, the week after, max pain is 63. So, again, currently below that. Max pain for the 10th of November, 60. So again, currently below that. 17th, 59. Crap, that doesn't look so good. But I believe on the 24th, I think it's 66. Whoa, max pain. How is it 80? That's high. So yeah, so this, I feel like over the next month, this could be a nice swing trade. Let's see, what is it? December 1st, max pain, 50. Ugh. But there doesn't seem to be many positions there. 61. Yeah, so we'll see. Why would it go up to 80? Let's see. That's, basically up. 80 would be like a higher high than what we've seen since May. We haven't seen that since really March. So, yeah, I don't know if I'm expecting it to get to 80, but I definitely think that over the next few weeks, it does seem like it might be at a discount. So, we'll have to wait and see. Again, DGen Ed, I don't know what I'm doing, but I think this is interesting. All right, we already did Bitcoin, so I'm going to move on to Chewy. And so with this, I'm just trying to think about, is a bottom forming? Because, it's been very oversold on the daily. Let's look on the weekly. Currently, it looks like it's oversold. Monthly, I don't know. But yeah, so, what's a potential bottom here? It looks like we have respected, let's see what the low is here. 1676. So, oh man, I don't want to do this. Oh, sorry about that. Oh no, I want to do a horizontal line. Okay, so, and actually have an alert there, I believe. So yeah, we have respected that as a bottom. So if it, maybe it goes below that a couple more times, but as long as candles close, the days close above that level, that could be a bottom, and then see where this might go up to. Daily candles, there's a gap up here, and yeah, it seems like there's some potential for some upward moves, maybe get small gain on that. But yeah, I find that to be interesting. Yeah, look at the big gap up here. Also a gap up here. That would be much longer term though. But yeah, this seems like it might be oversold. It seems like it is oversold. But when's it going to bounce? I don't want to be averaging in if it's just going to go down more. So we'll see if 1676 is respected, and that could be a great place to establish a position, but it might also be a terrible one. I have no idea. D-Gen Ed. All right. GameStop is the next one on the list. One thing that I was just thinking about, which I feel like is controversial, people may not like this, but just looking at this chart, I'm going to do the weekly candles. We are at the low of $12.90. It's right around $13. And so it doesn't seem like there's some candles here. These are weekly candles. We spent some time in there. But it seems like coming down to 10, which would be, right around this level, it seems like there's, that has served as support before from this bounce after the squeeze. So yeah, I'm very curious to see if, I feel like I don't want to see GameStop go that lower, but if it does, I want to be ready to scoop up those cheaper shares. My computer beeped at me. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, so, I think that this is potentially interesting. But yeah, where's the bottom for this? It seems like it might go down to 10 before really, going back up. So, that's just, a crappy thought, but it's just what I see in the chart. Yeah, so, let me know what you think, if you get to this part in the video. But yeah, if it goes down to 10, it's good to be prepared for that. But if it doesn't go down, it's, good to be prepared for, violent upward movements like what we saw, over here. But, we'll have to wait and see. Okay, and so the final one that's on this list, this is Hycroft Mining, which I have been wanting to establish a position in. I was expecting it to, follow in this channel, which I might actually, that's parallel lines, but I kind of like the way I'll just leave that. The channel that I had drawn on the other stock was nice. I think it was, is it American? Yeah. Okay, so with this, let's go to the daily actually. I was expecting there to be news on a reverse split and that causing the stock to drop, because I've seen that before with other stocks and I didn't want to be, holding the bag if it's going to plummet. And yeah, but what happened is it seemed like, maybe I, suck at drawing. It seemed like, maybe these candles weren't breaking out, maybe like giving a little tease. This candle coming back in, that was on Thursday, and then Friday it looked like it closed out the week just outside of that channel. But yeah, again, I kind of suck at drawing, so maybe that's not the best reference point. And it hasn't been news on whether there'd be a reverse split or when that's going to be delayed till. But the stock price rising from 30 cents to $1 to continue to be listed on the NASDAQ seems like, of course it can happen, but even like, with the squeeze here, that's 50 cents, $1 is coming back up to, this level here, where this spike was. And so, yeah, that seems like, I feel like we're going to have a reverse split at some point. And, with that, I expect it to tank a little bit, but maybe, we've gotten out of this channel and then this level here would serve as the support. And so, yeah, I'm just waiting to see when the reverse split gets announced before making any notable moves with this. But yeah, I'm just watching, I have a lot of, I've made some money trading this in the past. So I enjoy the stock. I'd like to get back into it. But I also don't want to be spread too thin, so I'm waiting on the sidelines right now. But yeah, I mean, and also what I think is crazy too is, this wick that, shot up. If you would have got in at 26.01 or, let's see, 26 whatever. And it gotten up to, this candle went up to a high of 34 cents, 0.3495 And so that would have been, a very nice swing before, this candle coming back. But, this also suggests to me that maybe these levels that I've highlighted here are significant. If we look back, we see that these candles could not break above that level previously. This candle wick, or the tail, came down to touch that line. Some other candles here. So yeah, it does seem like it has been a pretty significant level. Not too much in the past though. So yeah, what's going to happen in the future? No idea. But I thought these were interesting charts I wanted to share. And so usually I do these streams for about an hour, but I don't see anybody in the live chat. I've gone through the stocks I wanted to go through, the tickers I want to go through. And I was hoping to eat dinner before starting the stream, but I didn't finish cooking it. So I might end the stream a little early, just to see. Yeah, I don't see anybody watching it other than myself, just to check. Let's see. Yeah, so I think I might end the stream. But I want to note that if you do like this kind of content, you should make sure you like the video, like the videos that I put out, and subscribe. I'm going to be doing these live streams, as noted up here, every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully get some more people to join, so it's not just me talking about stocks, sharing my thoughts. No financial advice, because this is Degen Ed, degenerative education. No idea what I'm talking about. But yeah, I hope you enjoy the content. I'm going to try to put out more videos this week, so we can have some more, thoughts exchanged, some more ideas, and hopefully, some of the technical analysis that I'm doing is worth something. I really have no idea. But, I, especially, in that Bitcoin chart, I feel like it's, with a lot of people being bullish right now, it's good to be a contrarian. And, yeah, if everybody's bullish, it might be the top. So, yeah, anyways, Degen Ed, my name's Andy. Happy to share this stuff with you guys, stream with you. And, yeah, I am going to end this, and I will put out some more videos this week, some short ones. And so subscribe, like, and I will see you next week in the next live stream. All right, take care. Have a great week.